Well, good morning, everybody. I see a lot of people are still coming in, so we're just going to take a couple of minutes and let everybody kind of come in here for a little bit. This is Lynn Carrillo, and I am coming to you live from sunny Southern California. How's everybody doing this morning? Can you guys hear me? And I want to make sure that you can see my screen, so if you would, just give me a little good morning and hello and yes and all that good fun stuff. How's everybody doing? Yes, thank you. Yes, 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 and yes. That's excellent. Good deal. All right. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Some of you, it's good afternoon. I think we have some people that are on the East Coast, so there might be some good afternoons coming into play here. Good to see everybody on there. All right. So, and everybody can see the screen just fine. So basically what we're going to start doing, Lunch with Smash. There you go, Val. That's excellent. Some of you guys have been asking if we can unmask this so everybody can see each other in the room. Just so you guys know, we switched this over to the webinar side. Webinar side is usually incognitos, just so you know. And the reason why we did this is because we were planning on really driving this and upping it so that we're going to need a lot more room, and this will be able to handle all that. So just if you want, if there's somebody that you're looking for or anything like that, you can type me a message. I can let you know if somebody specifically is in here, and we'll take care of you from that way. What the other thing, there's a lot of people that don't want other people to know that they're working multiple companies and things like that. So that's the other reason why we decided to switch it over just a little bit, just so you guys know. And it's more for the expansion side of things. Okay, so today I thought it'd be kind of fun. We're going to kind of work with PowerPoints and things like that, so you guys have got some visuals. I am a visual trainer. Usually you guys will, if you ever saw me in person, my hands go everywhere. If my kid tells me if I sat on my hands, I'd be mute. So that'll just kind of tell you where I'm at. But what I want you guys to think about as we're going to go through this week, this is just going to be like a little kickoff warm-up. We are going to start putting into play some ways to be able to critique and do some daily checkups and things like that, look at numbers, see how everybody's growing. We're going to also be able to have things in play to where we'll be able to bring people on that are doing really, really good things, growing really fast, a lot of recognition, things of that nature. So I just want you guys to get a feel as to how these are going to shift up just a little bit. And today's conversation, we're calling these a daily boost. And we were going to call them something to do with breakfast, but not everybody's here for breakfast. So, but this is your daily boost. This is just basically here for you to be able to kind of come in, get a kind of a shot in the arm, make sure that you're staying on track, a little accountability. A lot of, like we were talking about yesterday, there's a lot of us that need accountability, things of that nature. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about having some sales skills and what does sales skills mean. Let me ask you guys this question. When we're looking at the sales skills, what skill sets do you think are necessary, absolutely necessary, in order to not just be a good salesperson, but to be a great salesperson? What do you guys think? I want to hear back from you. Well, some of you guys just hit it right out of the park. That's just nice. I knew we had nothing but great salespeople in here. Love it, love it. Okay. Letting everybody just kind of, I'll read them off here in just a second. So we've got listening. Listening, the guys that I consider to be your top-notch sales guys. Listening is beyond critical. Beyond critical. So yeah, you're right out of the gate there. No fear, no fear. Yeah. You know, here's the thing that's crazy about when you say no fear, I agree with you in that case, but I'm going to give you a little insight to that here in just a minute, because fear is very crippling in sales, but there's also ways to overcome fear if you kind of think about it. And salespeople are really good about overcoming their fears, and I'll give you some examples here in just a second. Being creative, very good. Val, that's a good one. Asking the right questions, yep, that'll do it. Let's see here. Preparation, very good. Gosh, you guys are so on it. I love this. I knew you guys were the right group here. Okay, so if you look at what is a great salesperson, and I want you guys to say this, I am a great salesperson. Say it to yourself. I am a great salesperson. Because if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to. So you have to absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally, I am the best salesperson out there. And once you've kind of changed your tone a little bit for yourself, it's amazing what people, you'll have people gravitate to you. Have you ever watched that person that walks into a room and everybody just kind of goes to them? JJ's one of them. If you've been in the room with Jerry and or Doc, they're just, you can't help but want to go, besides the fact that Jerry's really, really tall, but you want to go right to him because there's something about him. A lot of it has to do with that confidence. That confidence level is very high. So sales guys that have extreme confidence, we're going to talk about more of that tomorrow, you'll see that that's even a higher level. But to be a great salesperson, to be able to actually get the job done, understanding how to prospect is huge. Knowing how to question things. And when I say question things, it's not, you're not questioning the person as like putting them under a spotlight type deal, but it's fact finding. And fact finding is, oh, yep, I will organize you, no problem. Hold on just a second. Speaking of, there we go. The questioning portion of it is more of fact, like I was saying, was fact finding. And speaking of the tall guy, hi Jerry.
Hi, how are you?
I am wonderful. Everybody say hi to Jerry. We're doing romper room, Jerry, so everybody go hi Jerry.
Yeah, but everybody's muted, so they're going to be talking to themselves.
I know. Hey, there you go. Okay, everybody saying hi Jerry. So basically, on the prospecting side of things, what the questioning side of things, you want to be able to find a way to ask a question that draws them out of their shell. And you want to make sure that they're not technically a yes/no type questions. That's not what we're after, because yes/nos usually will stop a conversation. So it's not, is your favorite color blue? Your question would be, what's your favorite color? And all you're doing is kind of just, switching it up a little bit. So when you're prospecting, a lot of times what happens is if you can actually do your own little your research prior to talking to the person, it actually will help you. Yeah, open-ended questions. Exactly, Carolyn. You're exactly right. Open-ended questions are usually your better ways to be able, or excuse me, prospecting is your better ways to be able to find those open-ended questions. Looking at somebody's website, especially because we have the booster bar and we have social media and we have all these different tools that are out there that actually help a business owner develop their viewpoint online. You want to go in and kind of do your homework, and that's where prospecting really comes in. The other piece, and you guys all hit it right out the park, right at the very beginning, is listening. Listening is huge. And if you're not listening to what the customer is asking you, what your prospect is saying, one, you're not able to find the pain in their issues. And finding the pain in issues is critical. And if you're listening, I always tell my kid this too. He has 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because you're supposed to listen way harder than you're speaking. And so if you can take just kind of slow down a little bit and not try and think of the next thing you're going to say, but actually engage in what they're saying, they're going to feel the fact that you're genuine, which is a big deal for sales guys, especially in today's day and age. I mean, you guys know this now because of yesterday, but coming in on a high car sales, I mean, it was all about slam dunking it, and just brutal. It was brutal. And you really can't go at a client like that anymore. Nobody's going to tolerate that anymore. Everybody's highly educated. They can find everything out that they want to online. So you really can't pull the wool over your eyes. So now, from listening skills, you've got to be able to actually handle your presentation skills. And we're going to, with the Paid Easy system and what we're working on right now, you're actually going to be put into a structure that is going to bring your presentation skills up. as well. So you'll be able to talk to people. You'll know exactly what to say, how to say it, where to go, how to be able to rebuttal any type of objections that they have. And all of these things just put you into that great salesperson mode. And while doing all that, if you really think about it, you're not only now you've shown that you've listened, you show that you care, you've done your research on them, so they know that you're actually putting a little effort behind their needs. So what do you think that's doing? It's building rapport. And I can tell you, out of all of my clients, and I've had clients, for going on 17 years, and they won't go anywhere else because we've built a rapport, and they just know it. And so with all of these different skill sets, if you start, and we're going to start working on these as the months and years go on, but as we go through all of this, you guys are going to start to just have all these tools that are going to bring all this together for you, and it'll help you handle the objections, because really all you have to know, and I'm working on this right today as well, all you guys have to know is if you can have the basic facts of a company, you can overcome pretty much any objection. And if you just absolutely know the facts, like if somebody says, oh, well, Barack Obama owns Smash, and I can say no, because the absolute fact is that Jerry owns it, and I know it because I worked with him. I've seen it. I've seen the man himself in his office. That's knowing the facts. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. And so those are really kind of nice little tools and little keepsakes that you can always do for yourself. Now, persistence is a fine line, and a great salesperson understands that persistence is key, but if you're also looking at it where persistence can almost be nagging. So there's that fine line between the two. And so you want to make sure that when you're looking at your persistence, you're giving people the ability to digest information. Being able to read people is a really good skill set to learn too, and we can work on that as well. Being able to look at somebody or hear a voice or understand how that person processes is a big deal, because not everybody processes. I process really, really fast. Jerry, do you process really fast? I think you do too. I mean, in my opinion, I think you do. I think you process faster than I do. How many of you guys think you process fast? It takes you a little time where you're very methodical as far as your thinking, because you don't make a judgment until you've really looked at all the details. I think you've looked at all those fine lines. Very fast. Let's see. Carolyn's very fast. Stevens is not me. Preston's. Oh no, that's not the run. Jerry, you're at hyperspeed, Valerie said. Fast, right? Okay. So think about how you are. Now, if you had somebody that was coming at you...
I also think that you speed up faster when you are very knowledgeable on your skill set, because I think your hyperspeed comes with two things, passion and knowledge. You take time to get to know your craft, you start operating quicker because you don't operate no longer from your mental capacity, you operate from a natural knowing space. And so taking the time to really learn your craft, you will speed up in which you process everything. So, Pam, I'm also a Libra, and we rock.
Yes, you do, both of you. But that's very true. So if you guys are thinking about being a great salesperson, I should say, get organized, get your skill sets done, understand your company, understand the person that you're going to talk to, because what we're going to talk about tomorrow is building that confidence level, and a lot of it has to do with the knowledge. And if you think about it, we've talked about this before in past trainings. A lot of you guys have been with me. One of the things that we talked about is, if a lot of you guys go, oh, I can't sell like Jerry, or I can't do that, I can't train, like this person, or I can't speak like that person. The only thing that really has made a difference is that a lot of people have just done it more. Presentations, if you think about presentations and how something will just roll off somebody's tongue, it's just because they've done it a lot. There's been a lot of stumbling no matter who you are, no matter where you're at. And I always fall into, I look at it, are you on a kindergarten level? And when I say that, I say it as a new beginner, that kind of level, or are you carrying a doctorate? Well, you don't get all those skill sets in a matter of a day. I mean, even Happy Gilmore could, or was it Happy Gilmore? I can't remember which one. No, it's not Happy Gilmore. Anyway, I was going to make a joke and then I totally messed it up. And anyway, it takes hours and hours and hours and hours to become an expert. Preston says it takes over 10,000 hours to be an expert. Yeah, I agree. I believe that. I mean, if you think about being a pilot, pilots don't just get in and fly. They've got to learn that. So what you've got to give yourself is a little patience, but also hold yourself accountable and make sure that you're getting in there and you're finding out for yourself what it takes. Don't wait for anybody else. Don't, if you're sitting there going, oh, well, nobody's there to do presentations, learn to do it yourself. Oh, well, nobody's there to help me with this, or nobody's there to help me with this. There is so much online. Now, granted, you don't have that because you have all of us, but at the same time, don't wait. Because the only person that this affects is you. And that was one thing I learned really fast when I came into the direct sales industry. I wasn't with a group that had all the stuff that we've got coming for us. Nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody even really, one of the gals came out, this is no downplay to my downline, but my upline, but there was a lot of things that were out there that they just didn't know. They didn't have the sales skills. The one gal was a mom. I had somebody who didn't even have anything going on back and forth as far as he came in from real estate. Nobody really knew what to do. So a lot of it I learned myself. I just had to go figure it out. I showed up I plugged in with people that I knew, grabbed a hold of anybody that was standing on a stage, kind of thing. And so those are getting your organizational skills together and making sure that you have what you need to fit your mindset. And some of them are very, very basic. Okay, let's go back and let's look at some questions here. And I'll open this up if you guys, I think do me a favor, if anybody wants to speak, all I'm going to ask is that you have a headset on so that there's no feedback. If you guys want to speak, let's see here. I got to learn how to do this on this side. I know how to do it on the meeting side way better. Can we raise hands in this one side, Jerry? I think we can. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see here. I got that option.
Yes, you can. If you allow them, if you allow it up in the options, you can.
There we go.
Mute everybody too.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so if anybody wants to raise their hand, you can, and I'll unmute you if you have any questions or if you have any feedback or if you have anything that...
You'll see it on a little tiny control panel on your guys' side. Just click on that little tiny control panel and it will allow you the opportunity to raise your hand.
Okay, so let's see here. Ross is saying, my challenge is that when I process fast, unfortunately, I say what I'm thinking, which needs to go through a filter, but usually doesn't, so I try to slow down. Okay, this happens a lot for myself too, Ross. I completely understand. I am one of those guys, one of those people that if if I think it, I say it, and it doesn't always come out right. So yeah, slowing down a little bit.
One thing I've learned with that is that you hold a filter around your natural communication style. Ross, I've worked with him and he's very direct. A lot of people that get to know me, I'm very direct as well. If I don't like you, you'll know it. If I like you, you know it. You'll just know exactly what's on my mind. But one thing it does, it usually comes out very tactful in most cases, unless I'm frustrated. And the way I learned that skill is I used to be just a level of direct that wasn't always to the standard that, give me just a second, guys. All right, am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Sorry about that. Am I back now? Can you hear me, Lynn?
Yep, you're all good.
Okay. So anyways, when my other phone rings, it kicks me off for a second. But anyways, when I used to have the level of directness that would offend people and would hurt my relationships with them, one thing I did is I learned to put context around everything I said. And what I did is I learned to hold people in their highest possibility. So when I speak to someone, I speak to their brilliance of where they're at and not necessarily where they are today. And usually when you look at someone, it's like, man, how did that guy fall off the dump truck, and you're just so agitated with them that you cannot have a conversation with them versus like someone that is that guy like putting me down? Does he just think he's that much smarter than me? Or just that person's like, why in the world would that guy even say that? I mean, that makes no sense at all. Those conversations are really excellent opportunities to hold someone in their magnificence. And what I mean by that is look to their greatest possibility. You look at if they were in their ultimate A game, they had every opportunity in life. When I was younger, it took me a long time to learn to be someone that could speak intelligently about nearly anything. And because I had such a horrible communication style when I was younger. I mean, I was F this, F that. I grew up in gangs. So I was on the streets at 9 years old living in a car with my mom, and at 12 years old I was living in a field. I got into gangs at 13, and so to say the least, speaking polished about anything was not my skill set. And so it took me a long time to speak not just intelligently, but just stop cussing every other word. That is a really hard skill set when your life has been trained around speaking like that. So the second thing is that when you look at opportunities around holding someone in their highest regard, what happens is your natural ability to hold them with a degree of respect as if you were looking up to a mentor, even if they're not a mentor of yours, even if they're not that right now. If you held someone in their highest regard, you would have a natural tendency to speak intelligently, not just intelligently, but kindly, and with a level of empathy to their whatever situation they are in life. And I have found such great potential in that. And I just invite that when you ever get to a point where you are speaking faster than your heart is allowing you to filter what's going on, then the best way to fix that is two items in my mind. One, speak from heart in all situations. Always come from that loving space, And when you do that, you're going to come into a point where you have a natural tendency to just show up in a really different space than one that hurts people's feelings or maybe comes across in a way that isn't the best. So this has been my experience.
And I agree with you 100%. I mean, guys, what do you think? I really do, because one of the things that I found for myself too, when being in the car business, is it was the same kind of thing. It was very slang oriented. There was a lot of negative back talk, things of that nature. And when I got out of that structure, it was an eye opener as to how I talked at people as opposed to people. And so those communication skills, if you really narrow in on how you speak to someone, it's amazing. And the
Actually, one
reception
other
is
thing,
totally different.
stay away from gossip.
Oh
It
yeah,
does not serve anyone.
I agree.
I tell you right now, if you can stay away from gossip, your opportunity to be an entirely different person, make sure that you stay away from any type of gossip. As I learned that one skill, the opportunity to change everything about your space will blow your mind. I mean, literally, it will just shock the heck out of you to see what the difference is when you come across in a way that has nothing to do with gossip. I don't care if someone is the worst person that you're around. If you hold them in the highest regard and you hold them in an opportunity outside of gossip, you can literally change everything about what you're doing. And I just invite you guys to take those two challenges on this week as you go out there and you look at the way you show up to other people. The degree of difference you will experience when you do this, I think you will just be shocked.
100%. Carolyn actually has a really good thing here too. She says that Your sales skills actually come with the enthusiasm about your product. And the three ingredients are being knowledgeable. Obviously, that's critical. I mean, if you don't know your product, you're not going to know the benefits. You're not going to know how it helps someone. Being interested in your product is a big deal too. If you're doing something that you don't like, I always tell everybody, if you're doing something you don't like, stop, because it's grueling. It's the stress it puts on your body. We talk a lot about balance, but I mean, the stress it puts on your body is crazy. Find something that you love to do and learn how to make money at it. I mean, I
Can you
started.
define that word you just said?
Which one? Which word? I said a lot.
Well, I don't know. There was like a word which started with a B in it. What is balance?
That's something you're still learning.
Oh, kids,
But
I tell you
yeah,
what.
kids, thank you. I appreciate you so much. But what you've also got to understand is that balance is it comes in multiple forms, and we're going to talk about that this week as well. But if you're not interested in something, if you really think about it, the one thing that was crazy was when I was in the car business, I loved the paycheck. The paycheck was really what I worked for, because it allowed me to do the things I did like to do. But for 80, 90 hours a week, I absolutely despised my job. I mean, it was everything I could just to get myself up in the morning. And so when I had the ability to shift that and see outside of this, I mean, I was doing the car business for 15 years. I didn't really know anything other than that. And when I left to be able to raise my son and realize that there is a world outside of the car business, you know, like we've been talking about, learning how to speak to someone in a different manner to where it's more of a calming structure. My whole life calmed down. I mean, I was brand new mom, but even being a brand new mom, my whole life calmed down because I started going into things that I enjoyed doing. So your interest level has to be it. And then her third thing that Carolyn said is and then belief. And I agree with that 100% too, because even though I sat there and told someone that they absolutely had to have the extended warranties or the alarm system or that, you know, stuff that you think works on your car to help it from oxidizing, you know, whatever the case may be, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe any of it. But I was an over-the-top pushy salesperson. And so that doesn't make me a great salesperson. That just makes me an over-the-top pushy salesperson. When you start going into these structures, Carolyn, that is, in my opinion, those three are really a critical piece because they really do make a difference. Okay, so let's see here. Preston, I am also I am also finding that I am so excited, maybe too excited, passion, maybe too much. Okay, there's a saying on that, and really where your bottom line is no one is going to feel what you feel until they've walked the path you've walked. So your passion is going to be over the top. Mine used to be really over the top when I first started working, and I wanted everybody to have it because it was obvious, it was awesome. But I walked through it; they didn't, so they didn't get what I was feeling. So what you have to do is keep your passion. Don't dumb down the passion. But what you're going to do is it's no different than your child. How many of you guys have children or grandbabies or anything like that? You know, it's the watching and grabbing a hold of them and showing them the way. They're going to do their own. They're going to walk their own walk. They're going to find their own things. But when you're able to show them the world, your passion is so strong for them that they don't see it. Anybody have teenagers? I got one. He looks at me like I'm a nutball half the time. But I mean, really what it is I am so passionate about watching my son become a man. It's amazing. But he's not going to feel that until he has his own children. So I'm going to walk with him. So do that with your clients. Walk with them. You know, show them what you've seen, what you've experienced. Eventually, they're going to find their passion in what you have. But it's going to be completely different, no different than your children are. Okay? All right, so we're hitting at the top of the hour. So what I'm going to give you guys now is kind of a food for
Hey,
thought.
Lynn?
Yeah.
Kat wants to say something if you unmute her, and then I have something at the very end I need to discuss for a few minutes.
Oh, You got it. Okay, so let's see here. Where are we going to find Kat? There you are, Kat. You're written unmuted. Here you go. Kat, are you with us? Oh,
Pat, do
okay.
you have your microphone worked out?
Okay, no problem. Nope, Mike's still not working out. Okay. Okay, so let's see here then. Let's go over to, all right, so Jerry, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
So guys, I just want to let you know, last night we got the confirmation of the final details, the smash going public. As of Wednesday, we will be closing down the private placement memorandum that allows people to invest in the company. So just to let you guys know, we will have our public status as early as Thursday of next week. And they actually completed the first trade yesterday with the current name of the public corporation. So they will do the name change transition, which will take a few days. But outside of that, this process for the version 1 of the private placement memorandum is now done. It will be done Wednesday of next week, probably at around 5 o'clock. We will take our final people that want into the current investment. The other thing is the stock split has been finalized, and so it is something that to an investor, this is one of the most sought after experiences they could ever get to, simply because of the fact that a company never usually splits as many times as this is splitting. The other thing is that with these major successes that are happening, you know, investors can come in with a minimum of $10,000 all the way up to the $2 million that's remaining. We are now in a position where we don't need the money. We're leaving it open for friends and family to get the big win from the success that Smash is having. So, but as of next week, you'll be able to go on, contact your broker, and actually buy stock into the Smash Corporation. So it could be the following week when we actually start the large scale capital our capital acquisition teams that will be doing the stock sale. They're called market makers. Those guys will have the next week that they will roll into starting to get ready to push the stocks. So for those of you guys that are VIP IBOs that have been in the system for a long time with us, they actually have 2 months to complete the paperwork for the transaction and get everybody their stock certificates. So that's the reason why it hasn't been a rush to make sure that everybody has their paperwork and everything. You guys probably got an email from me stating a little bit about the details of what's going on. You're also going to get a written letter with the new stock certificates and or the information about the stock, because it's now going to be digital. It will go through a big clearinghouse company that will do the stock movements. So anyways, lots of amazing stuff. Very exciting times here at Smash. Also, as we get a chance to go through the final bugs of Paid Easy, I think they only had 2 bugs on the engine of the system that when they ran their last test. So I know they got those couple pieces worked out. They'll start adding the other modules to complete the rotation system of that engine, the actual Paid Easy funnel process. So there is lots of good news that are happening here at the company, and I just am really grateful to have the opportunity to come on and share with you the good news. And if you have anybody that is interested in doing the investment piece, give you the deadline of when they need to have that information in and signed. And with that, guys, I'm really honored to have gone through this journey with you and to really take this company to a level of success that we've all dreamed about and now is finally materializing. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Lynn.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm overly excited about this whole stuff. This is going to be amazing. We are taking this to a whole new level, guys, and really fast. Okay, so don't forget that we also have the meeting this evening for those that are on the leadership calls and things with Jerry. You can do that at 8 p.m. Mountain tonight. And when let's just kind of finish this up with if you guys have any other questions that you want to ask real quick, go ahead and do that. Let's see here. The recordings, I will let you guys know where the recordings, we're probably going to put a separate channel up on the Vimeo channel. I'm working with Doc on that just to make sure we get all the...
Vimeo, YouTube, and they'll also be uploaded to my YouTube.
Okay.
I'm trying to make my YouTube also a central repository, so if there is a video up somewhere else, you have access to get to that.
Okay, there we go. So those will be the 3 places. We'll make sure that the announcements go out so everybody knows where to find everything too, just so you know. Let's see here. Okay, so on, and they're asking to make sure that the Tuesday nights are recorded. Some of them can't make it, Jerry, so we've got that. All right, so food for thought, just so that you know we're, just kind of revving up our sales skills here. So evolve your dreams, advertise your goals, execute your plan, and don't forget to close the sale. Have a great morning. It is so awesome to see everybody. We'll see you all tonight on the call, and then I will see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a fantastic day. Make it count. Bye for now.